Welcome to Puppy Love and Friends. If you're new to the channel, you're gonna want to head on over and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell as well, so you'll never miss another video. About 65 million years ago, an asteroid hit the Earth which led to the extinction of dinosaurs. In the past few decades, with several discoveries of dinosaurs' remains all across the world, and with interest in learning about dinosaurs increasing, a question has popped up a lot. What if dinosaurs never went extinct? Now, before you say it, no, we're not talking about birds. We're talking about the dinosaurs that are truly extinct in all forms. Think more Jurassic World type dinosaurs. Let's start with what actually happened. Many people think that the asteroid, called the Chicxulub impactor, physically hit the dinosaurs, like they were all concentrated in the perfect spot and got hit, and that's what killed them. This isn't what happened. When the asteroid hit the Earth, it hit just right. Any minor changes, like hitting it a little earlier or later, could have changed the entire outcome dramatically. The 10 to 15 kilometer asteroid had an impact that is equivalent to 10 billion Hiroshima atomic bombs, triggering wildfires, tsunamis, and so much dust into the atmosphere that it blocked out the sun. The effects of all this combined killed over 75% of the dinosaurs immediately. The rest died soon after because they couldn't survive in the new Earth. To dig deeper into this, we have two ways to think about it. One where the asteroid never hit the Earth in the first place, and the other where it did, but the dinosaurs managed to survive anyway. If somehow the asteroid had completely missed the Earth, dinosaurs would have continued with their lives the way they've always had been. But how did they live at that point? Studies show that due to the volcanic eruptions all over the world, there were already disruptions happening everywhere. Lava, volcanic ash, and various gases were taking over the Earth anyway. This was already affecting the dinosaurs. Chances are that even without the catastrophic asteroid, these eruptions could have ended up wiping out the dinosaurs, just at a much slower rate. What if the volcanic eruptions too magically stopped, letting the dinosaurs roam freely without any interruptions? Well, there's a possibility that no one else would exist. Dinosaurs lived on the Earth for around 165 million years. They did so because they were always on top of the food chain. Not only did they eat smaller dinosaurs, but would also hunt any type of early mammals that ever tried to exist. Dinosaurs had dealt with different changes to the Earth before. They evolved and kept up. They could have continued to do so. The Earth was doing great too, meaning the herbivores had plenty to eat as well. If all of these conditions stayed this way, the mammals we know today couldn't have come to be, and so consequently, human evolution would have never taken place. Let's assume that somehow, mammals and humans came to be anyway. How would life look then? There are several ways this could have worked out too. Physically, humans are much smaller than dinosaurs. This would have been one of the biggest obstacles for the human race's survival. We'd have to figure out a way to defend ourselves that was not only quick, but also efficient and powerful enough to actually take down the giant beasts. If we couldn't do that, we'd just be crushed or eaten much faster than we could have ever reproduced. That would mean that even if humans existed, we'd go extinct in no time. Alternatively, what if instead of humans, dinosaurs evolved and developed intelligence? Dinosaurs like the Troodon, that had a much larger brain compared to the size of its body, could have replaced the place humans have in the world today. Things would be very, very different. Dinosaurs would have tailored to the world to suit them best. They would have had the main advantage the humans had all these years, our brains. This would lessen the chance of any other type of animal ever surviving, even if dinosaurs weren't actively hunting everything else. The world would just not be the most favourable for any other type of being. Now onto the second way of thinking about this. What if the asteroid hit, but the dinosaurs somehow survived anyway? This scenario can work out in several different ways. For starters, if the asteroid did hit, it had to have had the catastrophic effects that it did, meaning most of the dinosaur population would have still been eliminated. Only the stronger ones and the ones unaffected by the apocalyptic dust and ash in the air would have survived. Natural selection would have worked its magic, and it's possible that the ones that survived were the ones that needed to hunt large prey to live on. Eventually, Dinosaurs would have either run out of food or they'd be eating hundreds of small animals like a bag of popcorn. Yikes! But either way, it's likely that they'd eventually die out anyway. It is also possible that they'd survive, but would just not be the way we think. As nutritional flowers and plants appear, it would become easier and easier for dinosaurs to eat and digest them. This would pave the way for the dinosaurs' huge size becoming less important to their survival. Because of this, they'd start to shrink. Slowly, they'd evolve to become smaller and smaller, following the same pattern as most grazing mammals, only in reptile form. They could even be the size of hippos and elephants. Had this happened, it's possible that human beings would have survived too, evolving alongside dinosaurs, but could we ever really coexist? As humans have done with almost every other animal known to us, we'd likely do the same to the dinosaurs. We'd try to domesticate or tame them. Kind of like the Flintstones, or use them as weapons in warfare. But would we have ever been smart enough or even strong enough to execute this? Dinosaurs like the T-Rex would have just been physically too large for us to try anything in the time before modern technology. It stood at around 40 feet tall. Chances of a human being able to tame one would be very slim, at best. Coexisting with dinosaurs was also almost impossible because they would have eventually gotten in the way of human progression. They were the biggest predators after all. Even if they've gotten smaller in size, they'd still be bigger than humans. They could have still retained their strength regardless of their size. They'd still be a massive threat to human survival. Assume we'd still figured out how to survive alongside them. It's possible that humans would have still followed the path of industrialization and everything that came with that. We would have destroyed dinosaur habitats and continued to push them to decrease in numbers. They could have even become something humans hunted for sport. In that case, instead of elephant conservation centers, it's possible today we would have had dinosaur conservation centers instead. What about the harmless ones, the herbivores? They were used to eating the simple plants of the past. If they existed today, their diets would have to consist of the hundreds of different plants we have all around the world, many of which are poisonous or hallucinogenic. We'd either end up with poisoned dinosaurs or simply drugged out hallucinating dinosaurs roaming around everywhere. As fascinating as that sounds, they were pretty scary in their regular forms. We're glad we don't have to deal with the drugged versions of them anyway. Even if they weren't out to eat humans, their sheer size would still have to be a threat to our survival. In almost every scenario, the world would end up being very different. Humans and other mammals would either just die out because the dinosaurs were on top of the food chain, or the unfavorable conditions would force the dinosaurs into extinction eventually anyway. The chances of us living in a world like the dinosaur movies are pretty much non-existent. And that's a wrap for our take on what if dinosaurs never went extinct. What do you think the world would look like with dinosaurs in it? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one!